What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are finally going to be tackling the kitchen table situation. You guys know in the last video I told you guys I got my kitchen table out, I sanded it down and painted it white. However, I did not sand down or paint any of the kitchen chairs, only because I am pregnant and I didn't want to overwork myself. I've been struggling a lot with pregnancy sickness, so I just take it day by day and I try to get done whatever I can without overdoing it. So today I thought I'd get two of the chairs out of our storage shed. I was going to sand those down and try to get both of them painted today. I do have 4 chairs in total, but I already know that I'm not going to be able to get all 4 done. But at least if I can get 2 of them done, I can remove the stools that went to the kitchen island that I had in the kitchen from the table, because that's what we're using right now. And the kitchen stools are just too high. Once you sit on them, you're like hovering so far over the table. I am going to stop at this little store on the way home. I'm going to run in and see if I can find any cushions for the chairs. And also I'm looking for placemats to put on my table as well. So yeah, that is the plan for today. So let's see what all we can get done. Okay guys, so I just now got done shopping. These are the cushions that I found for my chairs, and I think they're gonna go with everything perfectly, especially my kitchen curtains. This is the exact same pattern. And then for the placemats, I just went with these. And if you look at these from a certain angle, it looks like there's glitter threaded in here, and I just think they'll look really good on the kitchen table. So yeah, now that the fun part's over, now we need to go home and get busy. So here's one of the chairs. As you guys can see, I do need to clean it up. I did sand the whole chair down, but I really had to sand the top of this only because it had so much gunk from over the years. This table did belong to Evan's grandparents, and I think they had it for like 50 years, ever since they were married. So yeah, we're going to just wipe this down. I'm going to get all these shavings up, and then we're going to get busy painting. So real quick before I started painting, I just went in with the dry rag, and I'm just dusting down the chair really good, so that way the paint goes on smoothly and evenly. I did sand the chair down just to make everything smoother, and in hopes that the paint will stick to it a little bit better and longer. I will say I'm not sure which was harder, all of the sanding or the painting, but both took at least 20 minutes each. And so now that I've dusted the chair off, I'm just going in with my vacuum, and I'm trying to just clean up as I go, so that way at the end I don't have a huge mess to tackle. And I didn't want all of that dust from the sanding to spread throughout the rest of the house, because I do have dogs and they're always curious to what I'm doing. So I'm sure they'll be in the kitchen checking on me. And then this is the leftover paint from the table. And for the first coat, I just went in very lightly. It did look very streaky, and it almost looked like it was distressed, but that's okay. I'm going in with very thin coats so that way it dries quicker. I will say the most difficult part of painting this chair is the little pieces on the back of the chair where you rest your back, because there's so many little cracks and crevices that I just had trouble getting the brush in. A smaller brush would have been more ideal for this, but unfortunately this was the only brush that I had. I am gonna have to pick up more, especially whenever I paint the rest of the chairs, but this definitely got the job done. So to get things going, I went ahead and just sped the video up, and this is me knocking out the first coat. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. Okay guys, I just got done with the first coat. Of course it will need a second coat since it was so dark. And I'm going to put a second coat on there just because that's the look I'm going for. I don't really want a washed out look. But yeah, I'd say the first coat took me about 20 minutes. So I'm sure it'll take another 20 minutes for the second coat. And I also have to have drying time. And I've got all of the windows open. I also have a fan sitting over here in front of me. So we're going to let this dry. And then we'll go in with the second coat. And then I'll bring the next chair in. So now that the chair had time to dry and I took a little break myself, I'm going in with the second coat now. And after the second coat dried, there were a few little problem areas that I just had to touch up, so that was no big deal. And then while that chair dried, I went ahead and pulled out a second chair from my storage garage, and I sanded that down while that chair was drying, and then dusted it off. And then here's me going in with the first coat. And then this is the second and third coat. And then I carried both chairs outside and put them on the deck because it is pretty windy out, but it's also really warm. So that way the chairs can dry a lot quicker. And then I just got this little scraper. With me painting the chairs, paint did splatter onto the floor, but I just let it dry because I knew that I could go in with the scraper, and as long as it would dry, all the little paint splatters would just come right up. And then now I'm going in with the vacuum and I'm just cleaning up the floors. So I did let the chairs set out on the porch for an extra hour just to make sure that they were completely dry before bringing them in. And this is what the table looks like right now. As you guys can see, you have no room for your legs with the bar stools, so that's why we're just swapping them out. I'm gonna go in with some Lysol and I'm just gonna spray the table down really good so that we can give it a good cleaning before we put the new placemats on there. And I must say, we have been using the table a lot, and the paint really is holding up and sticking to the wood. So that's always a good thing. Hopefully it sticks to the chairs just as well. And now I'm just trying to place the placemats down how I'd like them. And then of course I'm just going to put some greenery in the middle of the table for a pop of color. And once the chairs are dried, I was so excited to bring them in and put the cushions on them. I have been waiting for this for about 3 weeks now, and I'm just so excited that this much is finally done. I still have 2 more chairs to do. Maybe I can try to do 1 chair a day for the next 2 days. But for now, I'm just happy with the progress that we've completed today. And so this is an overall look. Eventually, I will be putting a rug underneath the table just to make it feel a little bit more cozier in here. Hey guys, so now that I've got the chairs in here, I've got to do something with the stools now. I hate to see them go, but they're not really that comfortable, and you cannot find cushions to put on the top of them. So yeah, it's like a love-hate relationship, but I think that the table and chairs turned out so good. I cannot wait to get the other 2 chairs painted, but that is not going to be today. I'm not even sure if it's going to be this week. The chairs ended up needing 3 coats of paint each, and then I had to let it dry in between each coat. So it literally took me like 4.5 hours. And then I let them dry for another hour just to be sure that the cushions wouldn't stick to the chairs, you know, because it could have been tacky. And if the cushions stuck to the chairs, then whenever you lift the cushions up, it would have pulled the paint off. So yeah, I'm just really happy with the way it turned out. So now that that's done, I need to get started on dinner. So for dinner, I just plan on doing something very simple. It's only going to take one little pan. I'm going to put everything in it. So let's get started. So this is just a quick little dinner idea for you guys. I've got some smoked sausage. It is skinless. I got a yellow onion and some potatoes, and then of course I've got a few peppers. I went ahead and washed up my potatoes, and now I'm just cutting them up in little small pieces. The goal is to make them bite-sized. And these are just regular potatoes. You can also use the little red skin potatoes as well. And then I've just got this big orange bowl. Everything that we are going to be cutting up is going to be put into this bowl because we're going to mix it all together anyways. And then now I'm just cutting up my pepper. And I'm also going to cut these into little bite-sized pieces as well. And then I just go ahead and do the same with the yellow pepper and then the orange pepper. Just add everything into the bowl. I also diced up an onion. And then now I'm cutting up my sausage. And I like to just cut them in little round circles so that they're bite-sized. And then now I'm just taking a little bit of oil and I'm going to just fully coat everything into oil. And then I'm adding some seasonings, so I'm adding some garlic powder, some onion powder, salt and pepper. You can add whatever you'd like. And then once I got everything mixed into the bowl, I just oiled up these 2 pans. I set my oven to 400 degrees and let this cook for about an hour. And this is what it looks like done. It was absolutely delicious. It's very filling, and it's just like this one-pot meal that you can't go wrong with. And that's going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the meal idea along with all of the painting. Make sure you leave some love down in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one.